All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Open Live Q&A. This is week number 104 on my live streams. That is 2 years straight, guys, that I have been here live, and I'm happy to be able to answer your questions. I know that this weekend is our last live stream of 2021, and we'll be getting into a new year next year. So definitely going to be excited about all of that, and yeah, looking for some new changes onto the channel. Nothing big, nothing major, nothing crazy that I'm coming into, but yeah, definitely looking forward to having this time to kind of reflect and kind of make some changes, or not, kind of like what are some things that I can do on the channel. What are some ways that I can help some more students and go across and improve the channel. So definitely excited to be letting you guys know about those as we kind of come through on these live streams, and then also to be able to answer your questions. If you guys remember from last week that we had, or on last week, if you guys recall, my tablet was not working, which was an issue for me. So therefore I couldn't answer any questions. And, but that's okay. I don't, obviously not a lot of students have a lot of questions at this moment in time. I think I only have 3 mathematical questions that we're going to go over. So no big deal. I'll be able to do whatever I can with you guys in on the chat. And then, just kind of hang out with you guys just for a little bit. I'm assuming with most people that are kind of, at this point where they don't have a lot of exams or anything else coming up, that there won't be a lot of questions that we'll need to go through. So I'm just happy to kind of answer some questions for you guys and, hop in for the chat for a little bit, and then, maybe kind of keep the stream a little bit lighter and more to the point from on there. So hello, John and Black Ninja 16, Dradu. I think I got a question. I can add that to it. I actually, XYY Civic, hey, how are you? I'll be getting to that. There's actually a question. Well, actually, there wasn't a question on that, so I'll kind of address that. And what's up, 365, Province of Philippines? Well, awesome. So happy to have you on at 10 a.m. That's perfect. Hello, Sarah. Good to have you on. And Juan Marino, your videos helped me out through high school and analytic geometry and calculus. Now I finished differential equations and multiple variable calculus. Well, awesome, man. That is so great. And hey, Ralph, good to have you on. I think your older question, I'm going to be able to posting in here as well. And Christy, good to have you on as well. I can't wait to say the cringe joke on New Year's. I haven't seen you since last year. So, Ricardo TC, so what is even math? That's a good question. I'm actually taking like a little online course, kind of like going back through some history stuff on math, which is, kind of interesting. It's kind of fun that I'm kind of spending some of my time a little bit extra, since I've been trying to knock out some videos, but also not overburden myself, kind of spend, even though I have like that time, not to spend too much time doing math videos. But there are definitely some things that I am definitely looking into starting the new year, definitely coming back with some more videos and to get more content and everything else. It's been a hard transition out of the classroom to making videos inside of this little lovely studio, which you guys can see my nice little play button right up there. And then actually I displayed the silver one for the very first time. And it's literally just been in my closet the whole time, just never on display. But if you watched my last video on my channel, hopefully you kind of have a little bit understanding. I never really wanted to display it as a YouTube metric, but in my video, I kind of explained a little bit how it means a little bit to me, more to me as far as like the journey that I had to go to achieve that, putting in the time, putting in the effort, putting in the work, a lot of things that I tell all of you as far as being successful in the math. And then it could just kind of hit me. It was like, that's exactly how I want students to, appreciate, to math. Like, I'm not the best YouTuber. I'm not the best explainer, teacher, whatever else, but it's like, I put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of time, and I'm trying to get improvement and trying to do it. And like that, being that consistent has obviously, there's a play button, right, of success for on there. And I think the same thing for you guys that are in, going in math, like you want to achieve, you don't have to be the best math student or understand the most, but if like you put in the effort, you put in the time and you're consistent, right, you're going to improve. And you do that over a long haul. And then you look back and you're like, holy crap, I really know a lot more mathematics than I ever thought was possible. Right. Or, the grade, I'm, achieving grades that I never thought would be possible. So I think it's just a lot that I kind of found some parallels with my journey on YouTube was very same to my journey with mathematics, and also what I try to teach or, try to tell you guys to how about being successful. Somewhere there. All right, so let's get into definitely some questions for each. So Chris says, I'm taking, go through them. There you go. So Christy says, I'm taking pre-calculus next semester, but then I have to retake physics. So I don't usually take summer class in college. Should I do it this year so I won't forget anything? I would probably recommend taking it as soon as possible. Yeah. So you don't forget everything. I think that's a good idea. What's your initial investment? You're also going to want to look at what the interest rate is going to be from there. And that will tell you, and then also how it's compounded. So are you doing a simple compound and the compound interest? So you need to know a little bit more of that information, Anthony, to be able to check that out. A lot of times, can be a professor. Calc 2 is harder than Calc 1, in my opinion as well. So obviously Calc 1 is just kind of like hitting the fundamentals and the basics. And then you're using Calc 2, you're using this information, and going a little bit more in depth. But yeah, I think it goes a little bit more further with the application of the basic concepts in calculus. And then also, it could be a professor, it could be, there's many, many different reasons for that. Yeah, I know. It's so cool. It's, I think it looks nice. I'll have to figure out where I want to put it. I don't want to put it right above my head, but I'll have to figure this out somehow. And thank you, Tyler. You're all our Tylette. Very welcome. Well, awesome, Begin. That's so awesome. I had a great Christmas, and it was just at my house with my wife, my mother-in-law, and kids, and they definitely enjoyed having a Christmas. They're a little bit older now, so a 5-year-old, 4-year-old, and then an 8-month-year-old, or 10-month actually, 10-month. And so they definitely enjoyed coming out, seeing presents, and opening stuff like that. It was definitely very fun for them. Hey, Jacob. I don't know, Hannah. I don't really remember. I mean, I took college statistics, and it wasn't too bad for me. I just kind of had a professor that was just stuck in his own ways and taught out of his own book. So, but no, I think it really kind of depends on where you're at and your teacher and stuff like that. Related rates, they can be tricky because, a lot of times when you're dealing with related rates, you're dealing with the word problems, right? And so what do students mostly have difficulty with from Algebra 1 all the way through calculus is the word problems, right? So, related rates, you got to be able to break those things down. But if you're just doing the math, and you can kind of see the related rates as nothing really crazy. It's really just the fact of breaking and creating the problem that students usually where they get tricked up. Awesome. So happy to hear that. My highest video, I think all time, would be dividing a whole number by a fraction. But that video is gone down because now people care about people swearing in my class from 2010, right? Which is a video that is popped out just crazy, crazy funny. And, because the same thing is when I stepped away from classroom for whatever reason, the video on the worst class that I ever taught, which was just a parody video, that all of a sudden took off for no reason. So it's just kind of weird how some of these older videos for no reason are just kind of being populated and getting some views. Well, awesome, Mark. So happy to help you out. I definitely say a lot with the trig and a lot of the algebra. Most students struggle with calculus because of the algebra and, the trig. So I just make sure you have those fundamentals and then, just be fully focused on the calculus content. Do you forget most of your students? Well, do you forget most of your students? Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird how memory kind of works. Sometimes I will see a student and I'll be like, that is your name. And I couldn't even know why it would come out of the blue. I hadn't seen the student in years, or it might've been first couple of years, but I just instantly see their face and be like, that's you. And then those times they're I'll see a student and they might've been I might've had a good relationship with them, and maybe had them for multiple years, and then their name just will not come to me. It's just on the tip, I'll see them and then I just feel totally embarrassed because I can't remember their names. So it's always it's just kind of weird how I remember. Sometimes I'm like, yes, I know exactly who you're, like, I remember exactly, it comes right to my tongue. And then sometimes like, I remember you, but I'm like, I totally forgot. I cannot like your name. And then there's been a couple students, which I felt horrible, but I was like, I didn't barely recognize them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I guess 14 years, it's quite a bit of students have come through my doors. But most students I remember, and I'm pretty good with names. Well, awesome, Matthew. Good for you. Yes, Prince Anna. Yes. So I didn't want to talk about goals tonight, but that is one thing that I'm going to put down. So I'll talk about goals for next week from on there. But yeah, let's. I want to get to 2 million. Let's just and the goal really. I don't care about 2 million because it's not going to be an extra plaque, right? I don't care about 2 million for that. I just care about 2 million for because what I need to do to create a channel that's going to have 2 million. I think is a that's going to, require me to step up my game even further. Most of the concepts are going to be a lot of algebra 2 and then trig from on there. And then from there, it really kind of depends on what you're going to be dealing with, Christy, but mostly a lot of algebra 2, polynomials, functions, rational expressions. And then you're getting into a lot of trig and then maybe some, logarithms, matrices, sequences, series, conic sections. There's a lot of it's kind of funny. You basically trig in algebra 2. You can kind of think about it there. And then it's just this hit or miss of concepts. Oh, awesome, Sparkle. So happy to help you out. Sweet, X. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting into some more geometry videos. So that's awesome. Some of those older videos still helping out. When I come back from winter break, any tips? Well, I have a ton of actually radicals videos that I'm actually going to be starting. Actually 2 weeks ago that I did, and then I just recorded a couple more, and I'll have a couple more coming up. But I would definitely recommend, as far as on that, the making sure you know your square numbers. That's definitely the most important. If you know those square numbers, you'll be all set from on there. You got to put in the work, practice. It's okay if you're still a little struggling and stuff like that. Like, put in the work and time from there. You'll be all right. Whew. Man, you guys have a lot of questions going through. All right. Well, maybe we'll not have as many. How many days ahead should you study for an exam to ace it? I mean, that's always a tough thing, but I would definitely say at least a week before your exam, you should definitely start studying. At least a minimum of a week. Because the more you want to be basically, kind of spread out that information as much as possible. So I'd definitely recommend at least a week. Go from there. I love identities. Maybe I'm assuming you're talking about trigonometric identities going from in there. But I would definitely, I love doing them. That's one of my favorite chapters, at least in pre-calculus. I'm not sure if they're talking about, but I love identities, and they're also very helpful and very useful. Yes, that's pretty much me the same too. I can mostly remember most students, and it's kind of weird too. I'll see a student, I'm like, I'll see somebody, I'm like, I know that person. Like, I taught that person. Like, it's just a weird thing. You can see these, you might not have seen the person for like 10 years or something like that. And I can just like look at them like, I remember you. I remember, like, I had you as a student. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Yeah, how to simplify complexes. Yes, I'll definitely be having some videos on that, going through this. Yeah, definitely. I mean, why not? Of course. Goodbye. And Hepidar, how are you? Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. I cannot believe you've never joined a stream. I've been going live for 104 weeks on here, and that is 2 years in a row every Sunday night at 9 p.m. But yeah, happy to have you on, and thank you so much. I'm happy my questions answered. So, a couple things. Actually, just to kind of let you guys know, then I'll get into a couple other your questions on there. But so I will be going live again next week. Also want to let you guys know that next Wednesday will be my so a couple things, and actually completely forgot from the beginning. I definitely got to go help this out. No, sir, I don't really have like a favorite student. That's just kind of, in my opinion, weird. It's like having a favorite child. Like, you can't, it's, I don't know. It's there's so many differences and uniqueness on there. Like, every student brings a different aspect to the environment, right? And so I don't think of favoritism is like the right word to be able to like quantify any student or anything like that. Okay. But a couple things I want to let you guys know of. So I have done a horrible job of doing my giveaways or being consistent with my giveaways. So, what I am going to do is, I think I'm gonna start off, I'll go and change this, but I'm just gonna start being consistent from now on. So please don't put this in the chat. But once this video is done, what I'm going to do is I will give you guys the opportunity. I will let you guys know, but I'm going to post a little bit in my math chat because I am going to dive this down. But after this video is done, if you go ahead and yeah. Okay, don't go and put it in the chat, guys, because if any of you guys remember at the, when did I do that? Was that for my 1 million subscribers? Yeah, it was for my 1 million subscribers. So I did like the giveaways, and so that's something I'm going to be doing. That is something I'm going to be doing kind of like for each of these live streams, because I want to end a live stream with a giveaway. So that's something new that I want to be able to do for this whole year. And again, this is a free tutoring session with me. And I just think it's something fun to kind of keep me on my toes and working with you guys. I appreciate my background is not a green screen. That is actually my class, well, my bedroom that I basically have. So anyways, once this video is done and you have the option to be able to treat it like a video, then you guys can just go ahead and type in math help. And what we'll do is next week, I'll do a giveaway, and basically I'll just kind of run through that, and we'll select one person each and every week to get offered on free tutoring. So just a kind of way for me to, kind of interact with you guys. I don't have a lot with the YouTube and everything or like tutoring sessions. Just not able to offer a lot with that. So, but this is a good way for me to kind of, I think, also get a little one-on-one with you guys for there. In addition to that, if you guys go ahead and look at the description of the video, and I'll actually go and post it here as well, because I know a lot of people don't look at the description, or there might be on mobile and sometimes it's weird. But also for you guys that are interested in pre-calculus, I'm going to start doing a live stream at least once a month for the pre-calculus live stream. I'm going to do this for Algebra 2 as well. And therefore, you guys can it's just going to be a little bit, so these live streams are going to be a little bit different than what we're doing right now, because I'm actually going to do them. I'm going to limit them to the number of people that can join on. And then also I'm going to do it either on Zoom or on a Google Meet. So it's actually going to be a smaller subset. And again, this is going to be something that is completely free. So just a way for me to just kind of keep in touch with as we're different to the courses. And then next week will be pre-calculus. And then the week after that, I'm going to do a Algebra 2. So something I wanted to do, just kind of keeping course with the courses. And then I'll probably finish off the year with those 2 courses. And then next year, I'll look into either adding either a calculus or an Algebra 1. Just kind of depends on how much time and everything else I have. But that is definitely something that I wanted to add onto you guys to just kind of be something a little bit more a little bit fun that we can kind of go through on there. So I will, what was I going to say? So we're going to try that out. Again, it's something completely free, but if you guys go ahead and take a look at it, I'll just have a little, sign up where you guys can go from there, and we'll give it a shot. And yes, I do have some videos, plenty of videos on the trig from there. I don't know again. Do you think the trig unit circle pre-calc? No, I love the unit, actually. Love and teaching it. So I have a lot of videos on it. So next week I'm going to talk a lot more about the pre-calculus live stream for you guys. So if you do have any questions on that pre-calculus live stream, then I'll let you guys know about that. And then you guys can definitely join on that and post any questions that you guys have. And then obviously every single week, guys, I'll be doing something from this. Yes. So the live stream is going to be a free live stream just once a month. So it's going to be like on Wednesday. I think I did 4:30. Actually, I have to go and check up front there, but I think I did like a 4:30 or 5. I think it was 4:30. Yeah, 4:30, 4:45, something like that. And then so it's just basically once a month, just something, because I already have a live stream for people that are part of my pre-calculus course. And so I have that constantly going. And then I have, so I have that with the course, and then everything else. Then this is just kind of like a free thing for me, kind of open questions. You pre-submit your questions, and then we just go and answer them, from on there. And it's, just a way to kind of talk just about pre-calculus. Whereas here, these open live streams, we'll spend time like talking all about stuff up and down and, algebra 1 to calculus and so forth. So just something to kind of be a little bit more focused for you guys. No, I have not actually yet. What are they? I'll eventually get to my calculus 3. Just don't have anything right now from there. Search, would you recommend someone coming out of their sophomore year, finished with Algebra 2, and studying for pre-calc this summer to take AP Calc BC and then junior? I mean, it's all relative. It all depends on the student and what they're trying to achieve and their math capability. It's like I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying for a majority of students, though, it's probably not something I would recommend. But again, I'd have to kind of know your circumstance and know what you're trying to achieve. So it's definitely something you could do. I would say for the majority of people, though, it's not the right decision. And you don't need to feel like you need to rush through the calculus curriculum. But again, like I said, that's just a broad statement for a majority of people. So that could be a good, could be the right solution for you. I definitely just talk it over with your parents, talk it over with your counselor, and talk it over with your math teacher. Those are 3 people that I appreciate you asking for my opinion, but those are 3 people that have a good understanding of where you are and what you're achieving, what you're capable of, that can probably give you better advice around that. Yes, I will hopefully get to a calculus 3, not at least this year though. Man, a lot of people have been talking about calculus 2 for some reason. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I think it's just with anything else, just put in the work, and like when you have questions, like get help, right? You don't want to let things go on for longer than they need to if you're starting to struggle with it. So I don't think there's any issue with on that, but I don't think there's any issue as far as with Calc 2 in general, but I think definitely you just want to make sure like you are practicing and going over, everything that you're learning in Calc. Most difficult or common mistake in? I would definitely say like distributive. There's a lot with distributive property, like in division, rational functions. I actually have a couple of videos I'll be coming out with that as well. But, just like if I had, what was actually the problem? What was I thinking of? Oh yeah, just dividing across addition or subtraction, or distributing across like addition or subtraction. That's one of the more common ones for there. For not falling asleep during calculus. Yeah, you got to get better sleep. I think that's number 1. And I think you got to sit up straight. That's always very helpful. Sit in the front of the class. That can be very helpful. And maybe get some gum or something else that you can be doing while you're teaching. But yeah, I totally know, especially if you can not be entertained and stuff, it can definitely be a little difficult. Definitely, you need to definitely want to make sure you got your factoring down, your adding and subtracting, fractions, rational functions. Definitely want to make sure you have your graphing skills, like, graphing quadratics and graphing radicals, graphing piecewise functions, got everything like dialed in there. And then also your trig. Make sure you have your trig, your identities, unit circle, all that kind of dialed in, and then it's off to fun and play with calculus. I see waves, but not much relation to the unit circle. Yeah, there's actually a ton of it. I could do a little bit but there's actually like a video I made like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was like graph trigonometric functions fast. That basically goes into exactly what you're just talking about. So I'm sure Addie, since she's been posting some things, would hopefully would be so awesome and to show you that video. It was only like a couple weeks back. It was called like graph trigonometric functions fast. And hopefully that video can it kind of explain exactly how the relationship between the graph and the unit circle is connected. And if it doesn't, let me know. All right. All right, guys. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I am going to go through some math questions. I did want to let you know because Christy is showing off the membership. So I did. Ooh, look at Addie. I didn't even notice. That's so cool. So I did see that. Addie, where'd your thing go? Yes. So I updated, Addie, I say on your chat that you had on the membership. So I added in some new emojis and for you guys to go ahead and use as well from there. So definitely going to also be doing a lot of things with the membership is going to come out from this year. So membership, my live streams, free tutoring, more videos coming out. Definitely looking forward to this year, guys. I really do appreciate it. It's been a crazy, crossed the 1 million subscriber mark in 2021. And then stepped away from the classroom. Holy crap, this is a huge year. Stepped away from the classroom this year after 14 years inside the classroom. Nothing that I knew anything different. And yeah, then got to the 1 million subscriber mark all in the same year. Kind of crazy. Well, thank you so much, Tyler. That's awesome. Thanks for great content and help so many people. Well, you are very welcome, Tyler. And I'm so happy that my videos have been able to help. It was graph trigonometric functions fast. So if you just go to my recent uploads, it should have been, it's only like a couple back from in there. Has a blue background. I think it says fast graph trigonometric functions. Ooh, biomedical engineering. Why do I keep on popping this up? Lisa, I'm finishing my PhD in biomedical engineering next week, and I can't thank you enough for all your help. Awesome. So happy to help you out, Lisa, and congratulations on earning your degree. That's awesome. Or at least you're not your degree, your PhD. Like that. All right. Can you tell me the video name? All right. So yeah, guys, this is last stream and we'll go. I think my goal here. So I have 12,000 videos. So a couple things. I'm not going to get to 20,000 videos, but one thing I definitely want to get into is eventually get to that 20,000 video mark. So that's not going to happen at least this year, but we're going to keep on working on that. Another thing I'd like to be able to get to is, my Discord server. I never mentioned to you guys. So just remember, guys, next week I will go and get into questions. Another thing I'm going to put a lot of thought into, or not a lot of thought into, but a lot of effort into also improving is my Discord server. So if you guys have used the Discord server to get help, you guys show up on the live stream, maybe you have questions and then I don't get to them and then you hop on the Discord server. Definitely going to kind of work on improving that. I see a lot of future with the use of Discord. And so I'm going to continue doing putting some time, effort into the Discord server. And so that's something that's also linked in there in the chat that you guys can go ahead and check out if you haven't already, signed up to the Discord server. And yeah, I think that was it. I don't know. Discord server, live streams. So to get that up, get some more people from there. Just that. How do you get lockers in the room? I bought them. This is actually my one investment that I bought were my lockers. Well, I mean, I guess I bought the rest of the stuff, but the lockers were like expensive. Like you can't, and I didn't want to spend money on lockers because it's just a prop, right? It's nothing crazy. But one, it is a functional prop. Like there's stuff in there. So we just pack away like stuff for my daughters and like stuff we want that we don't want to like have out, but we want to like put away. So they are a functional prop. But just for like storage, they're inexpensive, So I looked on Facebook Marketplace for the longest time to try to find lockers because I didn't want to spend money on lockers. I mean, it's just kind of a stupid thing for that. And then But then eventually I just was like, everything I was finding on Discord, everything I was finding on Marketplace was just like grungy, didn't look very nice at all. It wasn't the right size. And if it was the right price, then it was like probably too far away. So I said, you know what, this is just going to take me forever. I'm never going to find anything. So I ended up just buying them. And then thankfully the shipping got them all messed up, and then ended up getting them heavily discounted from Wayfair, because there was like shipping and stuff like that an issue. So ended up working out pretty good, because I spent way less than I was wanting to spend for them, which definitely worked out. All right. So I was saying, oh yeah. So definitely some questions. I mean, it really depends on what you want to get out of the mathematics, from on there. I think there's a lot of different, channels. Actually, Black Pen, Red Pen, he shows up on the live streams actually once in a while. I know Mario's Math Tutoring, know from him. Obviously, Krista Math, she has a good channel. Nancy Pye, Patrick JMT, Khan Academy, Organic Chemistry Tutor. A lot of the people that you guys know, I have some knowledge about as well, and enjoy watching their videos or their explanations. So I think those are definitely things, and obviously that's just kind of like a lot of math help. But there's also a lot of amazing channels that talk more in depth about the understanding and knowledge of getting into the math. So, definitely check out, you can definitely check out a lot of those different channels from them. Well, awesome. Well, thank you very much. And hi, Lucky. I think you still can. I think you can overcome that. I know it kind of sucks, and that might set you back, maybe, but don't think of like one bad grade as something that's going to hold you back. And if you don't worry, come back and you can do this. Well, happy we'll help you out, Sadie. Yeah, Professor Leonard, very good channel. Yes, I really enjoy watching his videos, much more longer in depth. I think he's Professor Leonard, yes, I think he's a great resource as well. And there's also a ton of teachers. There's, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's a ton of the teachers that I have watched that have great videos that their channel they don't maybe like push their channel. They just kind of use it for their students. But there's some really, really good channels out there as well that I would highly recommend. That they have great videos, great explanations and stuff like that, but they don't really they don't push it. They kind of did it like how I started, just throwing math videos up there from there. Yes, I haven't heard that name in a while. Yes, he's definitely he's still making videos. I think he's still producing a lot on his, I think more on courses as well. But yeah, some of his old school videos, he's definitely got some good stuff as well. I love teaching inside the classroom. I think it was amazing. I think I really miss it. And an aspect, but it's not something I feel that I'd want to go directly back to. I kind of feel like it's more of I feel like the time in the classroom was the time that I was a teacher inside the classroom. And then that's kind of now I'm on just a different age in life, basically, Yes, maybe we'll kind of see how that opens up, but I think Discord is going to be kind of a little bit something where, you have that might be something as a kind of component for allowing more people access, with the tutoring. Cause obviously I can only do so much for myself. Right. Well, awesome, Michael. That's, perfect. That's why I always like to have my channel come in from on that. I'm having trouble loading the video. Any chance you can go explain quickly? No, it's not something I can explain quickly. I mean, it is, but I don't want to do it justice from on there. But again, you don't really need to watch the whole, I think it's ended up being a 10-minute video. You don't need to watch the whole thing, but the main thing is, as far as in the unit circle, there's really 4 points you need to, I would say, concerned with. Is those are going to be at the vertices, the x vertex and the y vertex. And that's going to give you kind of your understanding of how those correlate to the graphs. What was the question? Do you remember how your first time teaching went? And have you ever taught your high school friends? No, I've never taught my high school friends. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I mean, I do remember when I was first inside the classroom. I still remember my first year. I only have like sparse memories. I don't remember. I still remember my class. I definitely remember my first year teaching for sure. I'll maybe tell you guys about. I'll kind of maybe go into some stories about that, how my first year of teaching went. But that's actually a good idea. I'm actually just gonna write that down because that's a. Yeah, because I'd like to go back and remember some of those things. I don't have any. I don't have any time. I don't have any. Like pictures, or at least many pictures back from there. But man, that was some crazy. God, there's some funny stories I'll tell you guys about. Oh man, that just makes me laugh from there. Crazy stuff. Okay. Congratulations for on there middle school, man. That's where I spent all my time doing with the middle school as far as my, teaching and stuff like that. Man, I mean, I don't have any, I don't think there's any advice that I can do justice for as far as on the middle school. I mean, I think the only thing which kept me going as a teacher, which I think is a little bit easier on the middle school level or in the younger level than it is like when I was teaching pre-calculus, like there's so many things I could do with it. There's so many times I could take advantage of this advice, because a lot of times also just the stresses of, upper level mathematics and students having to know this and getting into college and stuff like that. Whereas when I taught algebra 1, or, pre-algebra or whatever else, like, yes, you have those stresses and stuff, but students can overcome that. And I think my only main thing was like having lessons and teaching lessons where it was just where students had fun. Right. And I think the main thing that I think I mentioned this a couple of streams ago, it's like, people get upset when people, take out their phone or they'd fall asleep in class. And yes, there is like a respect issue that I always took as a teacher inside the classroom, right? Like, I'm going to show you respect. You were showing me respect, like teaching, pay attention there. Like there's that respect issue and that balance. But also, I always took that as like, I never got offended from there too, when a student would, take out their phone. I never thought like they were purposely disrespecting me. Of course, there were times when definitely that probably was the case. But also, I kind of always took that as like, hey, I got to get better with my delivery and instruction of the lesson, right? If students are choosing a cell phone over me or whatever else, like I got to make my day myself engaging and exciting. And that's difficult a lot of times. And it's also difficult to hit it out of the park, right? So you can't every single day, right? And you're never, every single student and for every single student, like it's almost impossible. But I think just the idea of that challenges you and pushes you to create better lessons, to not just do the status quo of like, here's what we're just going to do and do the same thing year in, year out. It's like, how can I make these lessons better? How can I make this delivery, this instruction better? And man, I tried some crazy lessons, just trying to get something of some kind of like fun engagement out of my students. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it failed and it was horrible. But one thing it did do is I think it kind of kept me young as an educator, and it kind of like, and also kind of kept me, I wouldn't say young, it just like enthusiastic to try to keep on working every day. Right. Because when you just kept on doing, I never got excited about, I'm just going to teach this lesson this day. And it was just be boring. Like, here's how I'm going to do it. And, here's the notes, here's the homework. Like that never just appealed to me. And, but I mean, a lot of times that's just the way things had to go. Right. For at least in pre-calculus and calculus, I mean, there's only so much time that I have. Right. But whenever I had that opportunity, I love trying to like be able to think of different ways I could approach a topic or a chapter or a concept to really get my students engaged. So if there's anything I'd probably say that'd be relatable to from my teaching experience in high school to middle school would be that constant focus as far as like improving the instruction or the lessons that you're creating. Oh, well, thank you, Christy. Where did I want to post that? Well, thank you so much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. I am a huge, huge paper note person. Like, I mean, I even have notes right here. I have to write on notes. So I do have a iPad. Like I think a lot of times, like if I was in college, maybe paper would be better. Like, I mean, right now I use a Notability app. Like that would be amazing to like keep all my notes saved and keep it organized. But I am also just I don't know. I just love doing paper notes. Love doing paper notes. So, and I love my lined paper. And a lot of times I don't know. There's something about the paper that I just don't get with writing notes on my iPad or anything else. Whenever I go to a conference or anything else, I just have to have paper. And I just love having that and organizing it that way. So I don't think I could ever get away from that. Oh man, I was going to go through, yes, thank you very much for that. We'll see when the video comes out. Yeah, I was thinking I was just going to do a short stream tonight, but maybe not. How do I pay attention for struggles? It can be tough, you know? Yeah, I think the main thing is get up and get a lot of drinks of water, take a lot of breaks. You know, it's like you gotta be focused. If I think when I was in high school, my class periods, I think were like 55 minutes. But then we taught block scheduling a lot. And I was like, man, that's a really long time to try to pay attention, you know, in class. And, you know, so I know I don't know what your situation is, but yeah, it can be difficult. Take a lot of breaks. You don't want to be trying to, just like you're studying, you want to be doing things focused on for a little bit and then moving on to something else. Thank you very much, Mr. Katz. I have a question. Yes, sure. I posted in the link. Oh God. I did teach geometry. I don't teach it I stepped away from classroom, so I'm not teaching it at the moment. But I do want to go back and go through some of my geometry videos and update them on this. Yeah, I mean, what do you want to know about transversals? You can go post pictures. Okay, I will, I'll try to go through. I got to get to usually guys, I don't get to the I don't go to the link usually like during the live stream, but since this week was, since this week was a little bit low with questions, I didn't, I'll probably go and add from there. Or I'll go ahead and take a look at some of these for you guys. Any advice on joining pre-calc class? Not sure what you mean with that. I mean, just do the work, ask questions when you struggle. I mean, it's really, guys, a lot of basic as on that. All right, I'm going to find this video. Sorry, hold on a second. No, it could, I mean, phase shifts is a part of it, but no, that's not the video I was talking about for honest. So I'll go ahead and find this video for you real quick. And then let's go ahead and talk about, so again, just a reminder, guys, next week I will take any questions. So if you guys do have questions, you can go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A on there, or you can also go ahead to the Discord server. If you guys have not joined on the Discord server, I'd highly recommend that you guys go ahead and check that out. Then next week, also just a reminder, guys, once this video goes in, oh yes, you got it. Thank you, Eddie. Once this video goes live, just remember, guys, I'll post again on my channel, and I'll make sure that it goes into my YouTube or my email, which I didn't send out this week, just because obviously I was busy with like just all of you. But I will do a giveaway again for some free tutoring that I'll just continue every single live stream. I'm just going to do an extra giveaway. So something kind of fun to keep these live streams kind of going, and we'll go from on there on that. All right, let me see if I can look at some of these pictures that some of you guys sent. I'll add some of there, and then, yeah, I'll be able to add on. All right, got that. Oh, I forgot to delete that. Are you looking forward to the new year? Yes, I am looking forward to the new year. I am looking forward to, I think a couple things I told you guys I'm going to do. I'm going to be increasing the tutoring. I'm going to increase making videos on my channel, making more videos. I'm going to increasing the what else are we going to do? Oh, improving on the Discord server. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I think, always come for that New Year's, kind of like that rebirth, an opportunity to kind of look back on the year and see what you accomplished. Because I think there's nothing worse than you looking back at the year from now and realizing that you didn't make any gains, right? We always want to be growing, right? I think it was like Jim Rohn said, like, it's either you're growing or you're dead. Like as a tree, like you're constantly growing, and that's what you want to be doing. You don't want to not be growing. So it's always looking into, what are some things what are some aspects of your life, math or not math, whatever, that you can be growing, that you can improve upon. And I think it's always kind of like, I think it's fun too. And well, maybe one thing I was going to look into, like maybe putting some of those things down for next week, and maybe we'll come back to it a year from now and see where it lands. Ooh, Aaliyah, I saw this. Hold on. Can you help? Yes, young, but you got to tell me what your question is on there. I'm actually going to do a proof on that, which is actually one of the videos that somebody signed up. But if you have any like specific questions, either submit them on there or post on there. A-star in Algebra 2 next semester, any tips? You got to put in the work. Algebra 2 sometimes can be a beast. You just got to practice. And then also, if you look in the description, you'll see that I'm doing a live stream every month that you can go ahead and join. So hopefully that will help you out as well. And that's a free live stream. Any advice for someone starting their student teaching internship placed in a 9th grade algebra classroom? Awesome. The students like games like Kahoot. Are there any activities, games you recommend for 9th grade? I think Kahoot is fun. I think it's a good way to like engage people. But one thing I would just recommend for you is don't get like pigeonholed in just using Kahoot, because a lot of students are going to, sometimes they like it because they can, get around from actually maybe doing a lot of actually doing some of the work, right? Or they know that time can be wasted. Like I'm not against Kahoot. I think Kahoot and the whole concept of it is great, but I do want to warn you about getting pigeonholed and using one kind of concept or one thing, because students will, take advantage of like the time or how the process can sometimes be interpreted, or not interpreted, but be displayed out to them. So for instance, let me just kind of give an example. Like a lot of times when I do something, students like, oh, I really like this. Like, and then we teach them. What I realized was, if we were doing like something Kahoot or something related, is, they ended up liking it because they knew they could like get away with certain things, or, I think it's just important to kind of keep students with new games and keep them kind of on their feet. You obviously want them to be used to what they're doing, but I also think it's important to keep things moving, keep trying things. Just don't settle with Kahoot and say, oh, okay, that's what we're going to do for my whole internship, right? Try some things. This is a great opportunity to look into some different activities, look into some different ways that you can encourage and engage with them. Would you suggest doing studying for upcoming tests? Not would you suggest doing when studying? I would definitely get with a group if you can, or get in a different setting. I think it will help you out as well. No, I do not like physics. It's not that I don't like physics. I'm just not very intrigued by the application of things. Like I'm much more of a pure math kind of brain, where I just kind of enjoy the boring pure math part. You got it, Chrissy. Yes. Okay. I'll go ahead and take a look at those pictures. I haven't got to any of those pictures yet. You got this. You can do it. Really, I keep on asking the same question. I'm not sure where you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, Black Ninja. Hopefully you show up on another live stream. Happy to have you on and answer questions. All right. And hey, Sri Dad. All right, let me go and see what other questions they have. How many hours? Oh, this is a question. How many hours should I practice? Should I practice with SAT? There's no question, guys, I can put on that. I would still, again, the same thing. Like you should be trying to do at least, a half hour to an hour, depending on how far apart you are, of trying to do at least some practice problems, try to just be consistent. I think it's more important to be consistent with that, and be consistent with your studying than trying to like cram, from on there. And yes, actually, Addie posted in the chat. If you go back, or graph trigonometry function, she posted that in there. You can go check it out. Trig and algebra. No, I do not think getting a degree is a way is a possible. Yes, I think it's definitely possible to succeed without a degree. Okay. Well, hey, Tashara. No, I do not teach in the school anymore. I stepped away this year in the classroom. Well, happy to help, Mira. All right, let me see. I'm taking Calculus 2. College, where do you recommend me find lots of practice problems? I don't know. I don't have any recommendations for on that. There's a lot of resources in Calculus and Calculus 2 for that. No, because if you look at the unit circle, remember the X and Y, the X and Y coordinates are represented on the unit circle. And so they're always going positive to negative, positive to negative. Like if you go around a circle, you're going positive and negative values, right? So you're constantly going around that unit circle, the positive, negative. So however the angle is changing, like the Y coordinates or the X coordinates are going positive to negative, positive to negative. And that's why it's periodic. That's why it's kind of keeps on repeating. So no, that's why, without doing any proof, that's why that's not showing up from there. Or that's why it not be continuously going from there, or increasing or decreasing. Your question is not about transversals, but all right, let me just go and take a look at it before I post on the screen. I think we should be able to get this one down. That should be fine. Yeah, okay, we can get that one. That's fine. All right. All right, guys, let's get to some math. I was hoping I was going to get an early day, but you guys keep me up. It's cool. No worries. Well, awesome, Ryan. Happy to help you out. Somebody watched the video. All right. No, I am not adopted, by the way. Jamie, I don't know if you've seen all my Algebra 2 videos, but if you go under my playlist page, which I'm sure Addie can help you out with. Thank you so much, Addie. You're awesome. But I think I have over like probably a good 6,000 videos on Algebra 2. Now, I am making some more Algebra 2 videos, so do stay tuned. And I am doing some live streams every other month, but I have a ton of Algebra 2 videos if you have not seen them all. So your question just about made me, but your question just kind of got to me on, I have a lot of content for you on that. What, did I already respond that? Huh, okay. Yeah, no worries. I'll be able to help you out. Well, awesome, Lavi. You're very welcome. Nope, United States. Yes, I'll try to do my best. Thank you. But if you have something that is, if you have a video or something, a concept that you're talking about specifically, then let me know. I'm actually going to talk about this coming up from on there. All right. I thought I saw somebody's question. Oh, yeah. Any more John for student teaching? You're very welcome. Yeah, I mean, you're going to look into, I think so let me give you, remember from student teaching. So I think if I was going to give you another piece of advice from student teaching is just, be there just to learn and kind of absorb as much as possible from different teachers, instruction, wherever else. Like it all gets thrown out the window anyways once you become a teacher. But I think there's a lot that you can kind of take away from everyone. And let me kind of give you, and don't be hard on yourself. So let me give you a real quick story advice because I think this is important. When I was a student teacher, this teacher in front of me, so the teacher that was like, yeah, actually was in classroom. I was actually good friends with him. And I'm not sure. Yeah, he did a student teaching like the semester before me, same classroom. And he used to literally give the kids candy every single day. So he'd buy candy and literally love this kid or love this teacher, right? Because he literally gave them candy every single day. And I just didn't believe in basically bribing the kids to behave, right? and for candy all the time. Like I knew that I was going to, if I was going to be a teacher, I was going to have to learn how to set the classroom and, get my boundaries and everything else set. And it was really difficult because obviously the students go from a kid, somebody that gives them always candy, and then to me, which didn't give them any candy. It was very difficult. It was very hard, but I learned a lot, from that. And also the head teacher, she was very, very helpful with me kind of making that transition. And, she gave me some very thoughtful advice, and she didn't tell me till the end of the year, but, she's like, I know you're going to be a successful teacher because you didn't just bow down to the students just to give them candy. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with candy. I've given out candy many, many times in my classroom. But I think the important thing as far as the student teacher thing is, don't be hard on yourself. I mean, I had kids that were, many, many instances we had issues with them acting up and stuff like that. And I just would not bend to resorting, to the candy kind of approach, right? You have to learn how to be able to handle your classroom and to work with the students. And it's difficult. And you're not going to get it year one. You're not going to get it student teacher. You're not going to get it in probably year 3. It's an ever evolving relationship and ability that you're going to get. So don't be hard on yourself for it, but learn it is a skill and something that you're going to keep on developing. So hopefully that helps. All right, guys, I got to get to some math questions. All right, so last week I was not able to do any questions. Let's see. So I do got to download this. That's so stupid. Okay. All right. No. What's going on? Okay. Yeah, someone was asking that. I don't have anything as far as, I'd have to go back and take a look and think about that as far as cool math games. Oh, well, Melissa, if you just go back like 5 minutes, I gave Ellie maybe a couple pieces of advice as far as student teaching. So congrats to you doing your student teaching, but definitely go and check that out because I just gave some tips on for that. And yes, it was tough. So I would not recommend for that. All right. So let's go through. And actually, this is actually one with the transversal that you have that somebody was mentioning about there. Okay. So proofs. Now, it's been a while for on the proof, so I'm just going to try to do at least my best to kind of set this up. And again, there's, I would probably use more kind of lines from this, but a couple different things, just kind of going back through at least what I would kind of go through my students. So I always want to be able to write the stuff that we're given, right? So we can say angle 1. Why is this not writing? Angle 1 is going to be congruent to angle 5, right? And the reason why is that is given. So always make sure you write down the stuff that you're given. And then once you know that it is, once you have that information, put it on your diagram. Oh, sorry. Actually, we don't know. We'll get to that in a second. You don't know they're parallel right now. So we know angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Okay. Now, these are going to be, now you don't need to extend this, but I think it's very helpful to understand that when you have that as an extended line, that we can show that these are going to be alternate exterior angles, right? Because they have this same transversal. We have parallel lines and a transversal. Okay. So we can now say that angle 1 is going to be, So if these two angles are congruent to each other, then we can use the converse of alternate near theorem. So what the alternate exterior angle theorem says is when you have a set of parallel lines, then alternate exterior angles are going to be equal or congruent. So if we have two angles that are congruent and they're alternate exterior, then our two lines are going to be parallel. So I can say line AB is going to be parallel to line DC. Okay. Now, again, you might say there's not a line there, but again, you can extend that as you need from there. And that's going to be the converse alternate exterior theorem. Okay. Now here, it kind of gets in. I'm trying to fit this into like 3 or 4, and I would probably maybe use a little bit more to kind of go from as far as explaining this. But so now we know that these two lines are going to be parallel, right? We can also say, so if we have these two lines from here, then we can say that these are going to be 8 and 7 are going to be same side interior. So we can say that the angle 8 and angle 7 are what we call the same side interior. And there we can say that the measure of angle 7 plus the measure of angle 8 is going to equal to 180 degrees. And again, that is going to be because that is the definition of same side interior. And then you can do QED, you could do box, whatever else may be the case. So hopefully that is that works out from there. All right, so a couple people asked questions like why I became a teacher, and then this student was why I stepped away from the classroom. So obviously I have some videos on those, but I became a teacher because I just enjoyed helping people. Like I enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed being around other people, and mathematics was like one of the courses that I actually just kind of enjoyed. And I still enjoy like just learning about it. I think it's really cool. And the more I've learned about it, the more interested I became in the subject. And so that's why I really wanted to just become, and also I loved coaching. Like I was in sports my whole life. All of my math teachers were basically were coaches. So I just kind of always thought I connected with that. And I did coach at my high school. I coached wrestling for a couple of years, but just never really, the coaching aspect just never really kind of took off for me compared to the teaching aspect. And then, but then I stepped away from the classroom just because, again, kind of the same reason I stepped away from coaching was it was just, it was a big time commitment. I have 3 daughters. They're growing up now, and it's, they take up a lot of my time outside of the classroom. And so that's one component of it. Second component of it, I was, been teaching in the classroom for 14 years. Teaching the same things, pre-calculus, there really wasn't anything that I was getting excited about to teach, besides what I mentioned before, to Ali was like, or somebody's asking about like middle school teaching, like that drive to like keep on refreshing my lessons and creating new lessons and creating ideas. I just kind of, I wouldn't really say lost the spark, but it wasn't doing enough for me each and every year, like teaching the exact same courses. Like I needed more variety. I want to learn. I want to go back and do more. That's some of the things I liked about the YouTube channel was, I can explore math. Nobody's telling me which math I have to teach. And, but yeah, it became difficult when you have kids and your time commands are kind of, shortened. So, so that's why I just decided to step away, and like COVID didn't cause it, but COVID didn't help for my first 2 reasons. All right. And then this next question is the width of the plastic storage box is 1 length. So, all right. So we have a storage box. So why don't we just go and create it? So when you have a word problem, create the storage box. All right. Horrible storage box, but we'll take it. There we go. Okay. So the width, let's call this the width. Let's say height, and here's the length. Okay. So the width of the storage box is 1 foot longer than the height. Okay, so width equals 1 plus the height. Now, again, we have no idea what the height is, right? We'll say the width is 1 plus the height. The length is 4 feet longer than the height. Okay, so the length equals 4 plus the height. And again, you could put feet, but I'm just going to leave that off right now. And then the volume is 36 square feet. Well, again, remember, guys, volume equals length times width times height. So we have height, right? Now, again, we can write height as just in terms of h. Notice how we can rewrite everything in terms of h, right? Width, length, and height. So I can say volume is going to equal 1 plus h. Actually, I'll just rewrite this. Come on. No, oh, maybe I need to it's probably because I reset that. Okay. H plus 1 times h plus 4 times h. All right, now multiplying this by distributive property, I get a h squared plus 5h plus 4 times h. And again, this equals the volume here is 36, right? So then I can say 0 equals, let's say an h cubed plus, actually, I don't want to do that yet. keep on. Sorry, I'm going to keep on doing from there. All right, so distribute that, and let's go get a 36 equals a h cubed plus 5h squared plus 4h. Okay, so then I'll minus 36. Then I get a 0 equals an h cubed plus 5h squared plus 4h minus 36. Okay, now in this case, you'd either want to look into factoring, which I don't see this to be factorable, or at least very basically, or a basic process to factor it, but you couldn't go ahead and graph it. You could use remainder theorem, you could use synthetic division, but basically go ahead and try to find your solve for h, and that's going to be your values there. All right, and then the last two questions here is, so this one was, I think, did I do this one? 3x minus 3c equals 6. 3x minus 3c equals 6. No, I didn't. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve for it. All right. Young, I'll try to see if I can get to it. All right, so in this case, let's just go and do this one then. So this is a 3c minus 4 equals a negative 3. Okay, so it says solve for a. All right, so all you're going to do is just undo. So a couple way that I like to do this is just to put a box around the a. And basically what that means is I'm not going to touch the a. I'm just going to undo everything that's happening to this box. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract a 3c on both sides. So I have a negative 4a equals a negative 3c minus 3. And again, it doesn't really matter the order as long as you just have the signs the same, or the signs as they were. And then I'll just undo multiplying by a by dividing by negative 4. Now I can say a equals a negative 3c minus 3 over a negative 4. And you could obviously distribute that as well. You could rewrite that as a 3/4 c plus 3/4, right? So just make sure you notice the signs. Negative divided by negative becomes a positive. All right, find x and z. So again, guys, we can only find one variable at a time, right? So a couple things we need to know about this is that when you have two intersecting lines, then vertical angles are going to be equal. Okay, so angle A is equal to angle B, or congruent, right? Those are what we call vertical angles. So I can say 7x plus 2 is equal to a 5x plus 10. And a lot of times what I told my students is write why you're setting up that equation. So in geometry, it's very important to remember all these concepts. So the more you can kind of like remember and write down what you're doing and why you're doing it, the easier it's just going to kind of become. So there's my vertical angles. So I'll subtract a 5x on both sides. So I get a 2x plus 2 equals 10. Subtract 2, 2x equals 8, divide by 2, x equals 4. All right, and so now I have another thing we need to look at. Now, when we have let's say a line, then we know that's equal to 180 degrees. These are what we call supplementary angles. So a plus b equals 180 degrees, right? So we know x equals 4, right? So I know that these two add up to 180 degrees. So I can say a 7x plus 2 plus z equals 180 degrees. Well, I know what 4 is, right? Or I know x is 4. So let's say what, 28, it's a 2, plus z. Okay, so that's going to be what, 30? And then you could subtract 30, and you can say z equals 150 degrees. All right, I don't usually do this because I usually have time, and it's way past my bedtime. I don't know how you guys got me to stay up this late. I was like, oh man, I'm just going to do a quick little live stream. I'll be on for like 20 minutes, say hi, and then I'll be gone, and you guys just show all up. Happy to have you guys on, though. Thank you. All right, so let's see. That question got answered. Next question. All right. Okay. All right, this one says, in the figure below, the outer two rays are perpendicular to each other. Okay. So that's important. They're perpendicular. That means they're occurring at 90 degrees, right? So these two rays. Find the measure of the labeled angles. Well, if we know they're perpendicular, that means they're what we call complementary angles. So y plus 5y is equal to 90 degrees. Okay. So therefore we have 6y equals 90 degrees divided by 6 divided by 6. So 6 goes into 10, 90. So that'd be, or 6 goes into 60 10 times. 6 goes to an extra 30 would be 5. So that's going to equal 15. What type of angle pair are the labeled angles? So again, since these add up to 90 degrees, these are what we call complementary. And two angles that add up to 180 degrees are what we call supplementary angles. All right. Well, hey, K2, good to have you on. Well, so happy to help you out, Layla. Well, good thing. Well, good thing. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And thank you, Justin. Just checking in. All right, Young, hopefully that was helpful for you. Let me know. Otherwise, I will be back, guys, next week. Also, remember that you guys can also go ahead and submit into the giveaway if you like any free tutoring. Just type in hashtag mathhelp into, not into the chat, but on the comments of this video. So again, on the comments, not in the chat, but please go ahead and type in for that. And then I'll be more than happy to post in, give you guys some free tutoring. So we'll do a little contest next week, and we'll continue that for this. All right, guys, I got 100 likes. It is time for me to go. I like that. Have a good week, guys. I'll see you next week. Cheers.